To the 200 or so of you that have gone over to patreon.com and signed up for $1 a month, thank you very, very much. Absolutely a humbling experience. When I changed everything down to $1 a month, I did not think I would get this kind of a response, but in a country now that has nearly a quarter of its workforce unemployed, I cannot risk my main channel, my main source of income, with anything on YouTube that is remotely controversial. No one in their right mind would do it, regardless of what they believed. Philosophically, things have changed that much. Now, also, we're going to be talking about Uber Eats and how they are instituting a policy that kind of goes back to the era of Jim Crow. But the main story over at Patreon today is how these 4 officers are very likely to walk free. And we're going to show you how she's connected to it. Now, some have expressed some type of a problem with Patreon, not being able to log in or find my channel. This is the standard patreon.com channel right here. Patreon.com. Very simple. All you do where it says find a creator is you type Florida, and it doesn't even matter the caps or anything. I've got it backwards here. And then you just click enter. And there, my channel pops up right here. It'll say Florida Maquis, and you click on it. There's only one membership level. It's $1. That's the only thing you can do. And it'll show you about the channel. And it'll show you the recent post that we put up this morning. The one from yesterday, the one from day before that, where Sean Hannity reveals he's anti-Second Amendment. This is where the controversial stuff will be. And look, I agree, it's not ideal. In a perfect world, we could say whatever we wanted, wherever we wanted, on anybody's private platform. But YouTube is a private platform, and they do have the ability to make that decision for themselves. And we all did sign a piece of paper saying that we would keep our content at a certain level for monetization. Even the biggest channels out there have this same issue. They have all sorts of blurring out of things, and there's even one that uses a giant square that says Square of Family Friendliness on it. It's not just here. It's all over the place. But that's what makes Patreon so good. There's no advertisers. There's just people who want the truth. And the way I have mine set up, it's 3 pennies a day. Literally 3 pennies a day. It's not $1 per post. It's $1 total for the month. So anyway, a lot of very controversial stuff regarding that. But we are fast approaching the anniversary, 3 years, of the issue with the USS Fitzgerald. And while the Navy has relented and dropped all charges against pretty much everyone related to this, there is an aspect of the story that keeps rearing its ugly head. And I truly believe we are going to see another event like this. It may not involve a Navy destroyer. It might involve cargo vessels to some extent not being able to see other cargo vessels. This is only about 4 days old. AIS mystery. For those of you that don't know what AIS is, it's the automated identification system that all ships use to know where everyone else is out at sea. Well, AIS, the system, has been hacked for years. And they have been able to do things that have been incredibly dangerous. But 12 ships appear to cross continents and drive in circles. how this is connected, for those of you who weren't around during the Fitzgerald investigation, the cargo ship that hit the Fitzgerald was required under SOLAS, which is the convention that guides behavior of ships at sea. It was required to have a Class A AIS transponder meant for big ships. Much more powerful, much longer range, a lot more information, which of course you would need with a giant moving mountain. Well, we found when they put up the track of the ACX crystal, we could tell that it was actually using a Class B transponder. Those transponders are meant for little fishing ships, yachts, private vessels. Pardon me. There's no way a big ship like the ACX crystal should have been using a Class B transponder. What the information showed was that the entire track of the vessel that hit the Fitzgerald was fake. It was spoofed. So while everyone thought they saw the right information, who knows? This giant lumbering mountain, 730 feet long, 29,000 ton, basically moving small city, somehow was able to track down a destroyer that was trying to avoid being hit by it. Now think about that for a minute. These destroyers, the Arleigh Burke class destroyers, are some of the most nimble ships at sea. You can go to YouTube, search Arleigh Burke class destroyer turning, and you can see one do a full 180 at full speed, at flank speed, do a full 180-degree turn in less than a minute. And the allegation was that this ship couldn't get out of the way in time. See, the original story they put out, the original lie they put out, was that, oh, the people aboard the destroyer were just not paying any kind of attention, had no idea the cargo vessel was there. The cargo vessel crew was all asleep on autopilot, and wham! And then everybody bought the story. And then nobody followed up. Well, they changed the story completely, and nobody questioned it. Not only when the report came out did it show that the crew aboard the Fitzgerald was aware of the cargo carrier, they had turned twice to try to avoid it and still end up getting hit by it. Same thing with the captain. This happened at 2 a.m. local time in Japan. That two ships trying to not hit each other out in the middle of the big ocean ended up hitting each other because of incompetence, or, oh, I remember what it was. It was the Obama Navy. That was the problem. They were sleepy. It was the most ridiculous story anyone ever showed. And nobody said a word about it here because basically politics got into it. This was right after the current leader took office, and nobody wanted to say anything bad about him. And here on YouTube, that was pretty much against the religion that was installed at the time. See, this cargo vessel is supposed to go up here and then, oh no, wham, do a 90-degree turn here, another 90-degree turn here, and then go downrange and do a full 180-degree turn here, and then come back and then do a 45-degree turn and then do another 180, and do this all in about a period of, 2 hours. That was what we were supposed to believe a 733-foot long, 29,000-ton cargo ship did. And that this basically race car of a ship, the USS Fitzgerald, could not get out of its way. And then, of course, secret underwater welding teams had to go down and patch all of the damage when they got the Fitz back to dry dock. It was in a dry dock, meaning they could have drained it out. They could have shown the damage, but they sent down secret underwater welding teams to cover all the damage before they drained it out of dry dock. They said they had to do that just to move it to the other side of the bay, but the thing made it from the location of the accident all the way back to Yokosuka. Or pardon me, I kept saying that wrong then, to Yokosuka, Japan. I mean, nothing added up. Absolutely nothing added up. Then we found out that there were some connections with China, and that this ship, after it hit the after it hit the Fitzgerald, changed its course completely, went out to some side of some island and loitered for 5 hours. No damage other than cosmetic was done to this ship. And it just sat there for 5 hours, basically letting the clock run out on its own system so that nobody could pull the tapes. They were basically just letting the thing overwrite, so nobody could see where they had actually been. Then months later, of course, everybody knows the story of the John McCain, but they released this report about the Fitzgerald, basically a fourth grader's crayon drawing with just generalized times, and it was just so pathetic to watch. And we did videos every single day for about a year covering everything, and eventually they relented. They were going to try to criminally charge the girl that was in charge of the boat at the time, other people, the captain who was asleep, apparently, and they dropped everything. They absolutely dropped everything. It was a huge win. But 3 years prior, there was a report to Congress about this spoofing of AIS. And this spoofing hasn't gone away. It's just happened in different places where they have been able to hack into the system and show that ships are places where they are not doing things that they cannot do. It's a very hardware-centric system. A lot of people believe that an Arleigh Burke-class destroyer has the ability to navigate by satellite in real time. It's not true. The missiles that they fire, their tracking systems can update in real time with satellite data, but the navigation of the actual boat itself, no. It does not navigate by real-time look-down satellite data. This data, this AIS data, is not, it's real-time in the sense that for the ships, that you can basically know where they are and what course they're on, but you're not visually in real time looking at a screen that shows that ship and where you are so that you can avoid it. There's always some lag. Usually not enough that it makes that big of a difference, a few seconds. And the distances out here are just absolutely unimaginable. That was another part of the argument. Both ships were moving basically the equivalent of about 20 miles an hour. Now imagine you are in a car on a road doing 20 miles an hour heading towards an intersection, and there's another car coming to the same intersection from an opposing crossing road. And there's nothing between you and them. Not a tree, not a rock, nothing. And one of you is 14 stories tall. That's how big a cargo ship is. And you're both heading for the same point. And one of you is a $2 billion destroyer meant for tracking things like that. And you still hit each other, both aware of each other. It's just unbelievable. There hasn't been some look into this by Congress, by anyone really, is really more frightening than anything else. This was another article from last November, MIT Technology Review, where they had another AIS incident where they showed a bunch of ships that were inland and running a circle around a building. So believe me, guys, this is not going away anytime soon. Something is going to happen with this. I'm betting after the next election. I'm betting probably next winter. So, anyway, but I will leave that there. Like, share, subscribe. Once again, www.patreon.com, patreon.com. Just go there, and then in the search term, type Florida Maquis, just like it sounds. And $1 a month. Thank you so much for those of you who have already done it. Like, share, subscribe, and we will see you next time.